completely. I've fallen so far behind. But behind what? Behind an idealized version of me. For a long time, that's what I thought, that I was chasing my idealized me through life. But then I noticed something. Even when I am living in as full, true alignment as possible, I never catch her. So is she an idealized version of me and in this moment? Or is she something else?
On Stories of Self, we go on journeys into the lives of ourselves and others. We see how stories connect, how they diverge, and how we can create our worlds and solve our problems. This is the real-life remix of storytelling, which is so often stranger than fiction. So come and sit around the fire, chill by the ocean, or get a coffee with me, as I delve into the stories of self that make, break, and remake us. Some stories are dramatic, some are serene, some will magically mirror you, and some will be delightfully different. I'm your host, Katie Reeve Arnold, and this is Stories of Self.
I made a plan with a friend this week, and things got challenging, and she messaged to say that she wasn't able to keep the plan, and could we change it to another day? Of course, I said, checking in she was okay and reaffirming to myself that this change was hers, made because of things in her life and nothing to do with me, and it wasn't going to help me or her to fight the tide on it. And I found myself saying to her the truth, which was, that works for me too because I am behind. I always seem to be slightly behind a version of me who runs optimistically ahead. And hearing myself say that made me think, where am I going when I'm chasing a version of me who always seems to be ahead? This mirage that runs through my life, always seeming to be slightly faster, always just that little bit or a lot more effective and efficient and complete and progressed than me. At times I feel like I'm hot on her heels, that I might reach out and catch her. And other times I squint into the future, having lost sight of her almost completely. I've fallen so far behind. But behind what? Behind an idealized version of me. For a long time, that's what I thought, that I was chasing my idealized me through life. But then I noticed something. Even when I am living in as full, true alignment as possible, I never catch her. So is she an idealized version of me and in this moment? Or is she something else? I think what I'm chasing is the person I want to be. Not in many moons from now, but the person I want to be tomorrow, this week, this month. And so in that, I will never catch her. I can't. I'm not supposed to. And that is a revelation. I'm not behind her, falling behind trying to catch up. No, she is like a wisp in Scottish folklore, yet without the potential mischievous negative intentions of a wisp. She is an energy that floats ahead of me, guiding me on to where I want to be. She's my own personal mermaid, except that she's not drawing me towards rocks. She's showing me that everything is possible if I just keep going. Wordlessly, she says, don't stop. Here is the next step. This also shows the difference that perspective makes. I've spent 40 years, I thought, chasing an idealized version of me, when actually I've spent 40 years being guided by my own future projection. It didn't need to be a forlorn, never-ending chase that I was fated to lose over and over and over again. Actually, it's a dance, and she is showing me the steps as they appear. All I need to do is flow with it. So I wonder, can I use this in another way? Those questions I have about my life that I don't know the answers to. Can I trust that when I look ahead at the me I'm no longer chasing, she will already have chosen the path and be walking in the answer, letting the answer echo back to me in the knowing of where I think I should be? In this way, I guess it can be felt like a form of intuition, reminding me what I need to do and what I want to do to get where I want to be. Another dot glowing on the GPS system, always ahead of me, but that is no longer a stressful thing. That's a good thing. Instead of another stick to flog myself with, that projected version of me becomes the incarnation of a plan I brought to life in order to follow. And here, this kind of meets with something else that struck me this week. When we set a goal, if we become all about the goal, then we have entered a no-win situation, because we have stopped focusing on the process of getting to the goal, and we have forgotten that, once reached, a goal fades quickly in priority. In fact, there is evidence that even as we approach our goals, our brains are actually already forming plans beyond them. So we're not focusing on our goals anymore, even as we get to them. A goal is like that ideal version of me running ahead. It is a guiding light on the path, a plan, a landmark. But, like the version of me I chased, once I reach the goal, the energy it held is already slipping from it, is already moving ahead to the next thing. The energy of a goal coaxes us forth in life, and because of that, some of the energy it held that we chased has already moved on, meaning we don't find it holds the full energy of the reward we think it's going to. In this, like the version of me running ahead that I have accepted I will never catch as she is just lighting the way, I also need to accept that I can't gain the return I need from meeting goals. I need to be able to gain the returns I want from not just the goal, but the path, not just the end, but the way, from not just the external outcome, but the internal process of being in the flow of doing. The Old English spelling of jail is GAOL. We say it the same way, jail. But swap the two middle letters of GAOL version of jail, and you get a goal. Swap the two middle letters of goal, and you've created an Old English jail. And that is what we do to ourselves when we lock all our hope, happiness, and reward on a goal. We have created a jail that we half-knowingly exist within until we reach the goal. We accept that because we think the goal marks the end, when we will be rewarded with what we seek. We think falsely we will be free when we reach the goal. However, this isn't the case. When we reach the goal, the energy we seek has already moved on to the next thing. And so the chase continues. And we think falsely that we can only be free when we reach the goal. So not only is it not true that our goals are the key to our happiness, but actually the maintenance of that false paradise, the fool's gold at the end of the rainbow, is keeping us in a jail of sorts as we chase it via our goals again and again, never actually getting any closer to the true source of what we seek, which, oh irony and tragedy of tragedies, we actually carry within. It's that old adage, that which we seek is within us all along. We carry it without knowing its worth, without activating it, without basking in the light of it. Jailed by our goals, we hold the key all along. We don't need anything outside of us or ahead of us to give us happiness. We create it from within, in the way we think, the way we speak, act, interact with the world around us, in what we do and who we are. Looking for the pot of gold, we missed the rainbow. Similarly, the idealized me I chased, which turned out to be my guiding light for where to step next in the untrodden path of life. Oh, a word on that. If your path is completely previously trodden, then you are on somebody else's path. You're following them, rather than being fully true to your own uniqueness. This is a challenging one for us to take in, because we are told by families, schools, society, social media, pretty much everything, that there is a right way or a set of right ways in which to live. But that is impossible in a world where we were born specifically with the purpose of being unique. So that version of me I chased was never a goal. When I saw it as such, it was a jail of my own creation that I just chased over and over again. I was forlornly always behind, no matter how hard I tried. And I always would be. When I let my goals go to run dynamically ahead of me, I realized that my joy and happiness comes not from meeting or surpassing them, but from sheerly being on my path as they mark the milestones on it, dancing the dance they are leading me on. It isn't about getting there. It is about being here, and being here joyfully as here slides away beneath our feet, feeling the air we catch as we fly forward happily. And with love and joy, watching our goals as they stretch out ahead, twinkling lights just for us on a pathway only we can see. I'd taken this blissful guide and turned it into a Sisyphean nightmare, as I saw myself as always behind and strove to catch something that wasn't supposed to be caught. Sisyphus is a Greek myth of eternal punishment, where Sisyphus is a man fated to roll a giant rock boulder forever up a steep hill, and, as soon as he nears the top, to find himself and the boulder again at the bottom to start all over again. But if we take Sisyphus's boulder and replace it with a glowing version of us, always just ahead, that we no longer need to catch, the version that represents an energy drawing us forward, that lights our path and illuminates our goals, well, then we are no longer in a nightmare, no longer jailed by our goals, because we already recognize that that glowing energy runs always ahead, and we'll have moved on by the time we reach where we see it now in our mind's eye. And in that, we let go of the desire to catch it. In the knowing that it's a fruitless desire that will never be fulfilled, we let go of catching it being the thing that brings us what we previously thought it would. And we take it for what it truly is, a guide to go forward. And in that, we stop looking for happiness in the future and outside of ourselves, and start noticing it in the only place it can ever truly exist, within us, in the now. Do you ever say to yourself or others, I am behind? Behind what? What are you behind? What if that which you think you are behind is only a guide that will forever be ahead? What if your goals are just mile markers imbibed with illuminating future energy to draw you on? Energy you will never meet, because by the time you reach the future, it is the now, and so the future has moved on ahead, and with it the future energy. What if, instead of seeking that future energy, you saw it as a guide forever ahead of you, and noticed that all the energy you will ever need, and every choice you will ever make, exists in right here and right now? You can choose to cultivate the energy of it or not. You can choose to move towards something or not, but you choose over and over in every fleeting, eternal now.
We are all telling our stories, and we are all telling ourselves stories about it all. Are you brave enough to walk with me into hearing, considering, and understanding the stories we tell? Join me next time, where we'll be considering more stories and illusions and stepping into creating the freedom we desire. Every moment, we are who we are choosing to be. You choose. Choose you, because your story matters.